welcome to yet another edition of Tiffin Talks. I'm delighted to have Ranveer Shourie, I think, of course, he says he's been around for a long time, but not too long to make us think that, we've seen too much of him. But this year has been fantastic. He's shown us the range of his work. We've seen him as the troubled husband in Kadak. We've seen him in
Ma'am, we are live, ma'am.
Case.
Please start. Thank you so much. Over to you.
Hello and welcome to yet another edition. Sorry, there's a problem. Yeah. Hello.
Guys, hello.
Yeah,
Guys,
we've seen him as the troubled husband in Kadak. We've seen him in Loot Case. We've seen him as a very wily Varis in A Suitable Boy. That was a very unusual role, Ranveer. And we've seen him as Kalpesh Patel in Metro Park season 2 now. We will see him shortly. I think that's just about what you've done this year. It's a lot of work. And it really shows your range and variety. So I'm really happy to welcome you, Ranveer. And what a fantastic year. Talk about what it's been like.
well, actually, why you suddenly see a lot of me is that everything I shot for in 2018 and 19, all of it came out during the lockdown in the 6 months of lockdown on different OTT platforms.
Right,
So yeah, I think I had about a release a month kind of a thing,
right,
and I usually don't. It's usually not like that, you know.
right.
I'm not that busy, or my output isn't that much. But this was just a coincidence that, you know, in lockdown, all the work that I did in 2018-19 came out. And the flip side is that now there's nothing else. No, there's no stock in the back. Now you have to make fresh samosas again as the halwai. And so it's back to the drawing board. I'm back to shooting now. Metro Park season 2 now is the first thing which is actually coming out, which I shot after the lockdown.
Oh, it was after the lockdown.
Yeah, we shot it after the lockdown because actually we were supposed to shoot it in the middle of lockdown, and obviously we couldn't because
Right.
of the COVID thing. And we at that time we did this small quarantine special, like a mini episode, like a one-off mini
Right.
episodes thing on it. And now then after lockdown we were able to shoot season 2, and now it's coming out.
Where did you shoot it? Did you shoot it?
It's shot on location in New Jersey.
Okay. So how
Yeah.
were things there, Ranveer? You
The
were
things,
right next to New York.
yeah, when we shot it, it was more dangerous to go there than to shoot here.
Exactly.
Because there were more people dropping dead over there.
Right.
Yeah.
So what was that experience like?
No, we have a great crew. Just the team at Metro Park. I mean, I want to take this moment to say they're just fabulous, right from the
Right.
creators, Abhi and Ajayan, to the producer Jiju, to the entire team that they get together, and they create such a lovely work environment, you know, and the material is so good that we
Right.
actually enjoy going to
Yeah.
work, and you know, and realizing it.
Right.
Uh, so yeah, credit to them. They had a special COVID compliance department,
Right.
which was keeping checks. They lived the entire crew lived in a bubble, meaning they had these
Mm.
4-5 large houses where the entire crew was staying. There was no public commutes allowed. So yeah, a lot of precautions, and we managed to shoot it. We shot it in September, October last year. Yeah.
Wonderful, huh? That you must have been one of the first to get back to work.
Yeah. And I was dying to, because believe me, from March to September, 6 months, you know, it was, I mean, the first few months were easy and they were fun of
Right.
the lockdown. But after that, like from, I think, monsoon onwards, it was just terrible.
So, Ranveer, it's so interesting. You started off as a VJ at a time when we had all these foreign return VJs with all these fancy accents. I still remember the Ruby Bhatias of the world. And you and Vinay Pathak were like the Desis. Although, as we were just discussing, Vinay still had a strong American accent because he'd just come back, I think, from America. So, what was that period like when you look back? I mean, you used to work a hell of a lot, right? And so much chatter, so much talk.
Oh, yeah. Vinay and I had, of course, started VJing before Vinay. I was doing a show with, in fact, Ruby Bhatia called Out There.
Huh.
And
On Channel V, right?
on Channel V.
Yeah,
And then my second show was the one where I was teamed up with Vinay.
right.
It was called House Arrest.
Right.
and it was supposed to be I think a bi-weekly when
Hmm.
they started, and it was supposed to be a 3-month run.
Right.
And by the time we finished, we were running for 2 years, 5 days a week.
God.
Yeah,
Exhausting, huh?
yeah. But at that time, it was just I think it's youth and and the enthusiasm that goes with youth.
Yeah.
I was doing and saying things which I probably wouldn't now,
Yeah.
and so yeah. I mean, it was a good experience growing up.
And it was completely unfiltered. I guess some of those things, if you said now, you'd get really arrested, huh?
Oh yeah, 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 definitely, yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
And
so,
that
yeah,
also on a channel. I mean, it's not even it wasn't even on like one of those on demand things.
exactly.
It was free. It was free to air. So
Right. So, of course, I want to ask you, Ranveer, how really have you seen this change over 20 years in the industry now in some form or the other? How have you seen the change? Because you've been pretty outspoken, and a lot of people don't like what you've been saying, and they don't necessarily agree with your politics, but you've been very outspoken.
I think the biggest problem, Kaveri, is that people get polarized very easily. They
Right,
stop seeing the other's perspective, and if people are offended by what I'm saying, it just kind of proves what I'm saying, which is that you everybody's kind of what is the term, everybody's like kind of digging into their
right,
ideologies and digging into their beliefs and their and there's no room to hear the other person out, and or even acceptance of the other point of view.
right.
And I think that is causing a lot of conflict, not just in India, I'm telling you. And I think this is happening globally right now.
Yeah.
That's why you see the right everywhere, the world moving towards the right. I think everybody needs to uh, leave room in their beliefs for change.
Hmm.
uh, and that's all I say. All I say is hear the other person out. Maybe they have a point. You know,
Hmm.
you
Hmm.
can't be so you can't be so dug in or so stubborn that that is my way. It's either my views, my way, or the highway. And I think that's causing.
But have you seen that a lot of people don't like it? Do you tend to lose work sometimes?
I have never seen that. I have at least I have never seen your politics in at least in the film business affecting your employment.
Right,
And I hope it's just a myth, and
right.
I hope if you see even our yesteryear stars, they were from various political political stands, and I don't think their careers were affected by it,
Mm. Right. You
and I
know,
don't think it should also. Why
yeah,
should it?
Ranveer, you're very interesting because your father was in the industry, and I think your
Mhm.
brothers are also in the industry. So,
No,
in a
my brothers
sense,
no. My father, yes, yeah.
your father was a film
Mhm.
producer. Is
Yeah.
it well, he used to be a film producer. He's very much a
Now he just chills. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
he just is good for him. So in a sense you're an insider, but yet not so much of insider, I suppose.
Mhm.
Explain this very peculiar sort of insider outsiderness of yours.
Well, I've said this earlier also. I and I'll tell you the reason why I said it also. And first, I'll tell you what I had said about it. It was that I am an insider who's treated like an outsider,
Huh.
um, and that is because uh, I feel that the politics of this business, somewhere people hold grudges. My father was very active in the association politics of film production, and I think somewhere that has affected my career as well. Although I've never worked with my father, I've never had any professional dealing with my father. Even at a personal level, we've had our differences, but still, because of who I am, and I know I carry his last name forward, I think that kind of some way affected my career. I think because people tend to hold grudges and pass them on to the next generation.
Mhm.
So this is what I had said, and I'll tell you why I say this also is because I was tired of questions being asked to me about, oh, how you're so underrated, or why don't we see you in mainstream films, why don't we see enough of you. So I just wanted it to be put out there, that these are the possible reasons that I can think of. It's definitely not because I have chosen not to work with certain people or in the mainstream business, but I think that these are the reasons that it could be.
Hmm.
And it was purely because of that, because I wanted to clear the air. When something is constantly being asked, and constantly you reach a point where you think, okay, I have to address this. I can't keep brushing it aside. I can't keep brushing it under the carpet and talking about something else. I'd rather just clear the air about this, and that was my motive to uh, you know put this out there.
So, was your father very involved in working for the artists? Was that the reason a lot of people didn't like what he was doing?
Well, you see, employers in our business are producers, right?
Yes.
And I am an actor who
Right.
will obviously need employment, and because of, like I said, the the politics of the producer associations. I think my father had his fair share of detractors, and more than his fair share of detractors and critics and haters, I would say. And I think that's what I'm talking about is that when certain big production banners don't kind of acknowledge you or push you, you are not seen as under you cannot rise above the underrated
Hmm. Hmm.
uh, category.
Hmm.
You'll never make it beyond a category till you have the stamp of approval of a few production houses,
Yeah.
producers, whatever you want to call
Yeah.
it. So that is what I was addressing.
Although, Ranveer, if you look at your career, you've been leading man, you've been the funny best friend. I mean, you've played every character and you've been the hero as well. Not that you've always been a character, actor, or whatever. So, these were opportunities which you grabbed and which, I think audiences have seen. Do you think OTT has finally liberated actors like you from the hold and the stranglehold of a few producers?
First part of your question, yes, I have been a leading man. I've been a character actor. I've been a comedian. I've done it all. But
Done it all.
yeah, but well, maybe not done it all, but doing it all, and I want to do it all. But I think the only parts which I got in leads in heroes were in independent films.
Hmm.
They were not from your established mainstream, the same producers that
Right.
I was
Yeah.
talking about. So the lead roles that I got were far too less, I think, and the opportunities I got were far too less. And sadly, I couldn't afford a lifestyle where I would hold out for years
Right.
waiting for only lead roles. When you have bills to pay and you haven't worked in a year, then you will take anything which comes your way because
Exactly.
yeah. So that's to clear one thing which you asked. And second, now has OTT liberated people like me? Yes, it has, because I with the theatrical system, what was happening was that there was just, I mean, if you are not accepted by these certain production houses and powers that be, and you will not get parts in films that are seen by the audience,
Hmm.
mainstream
Because
films,
they
big,
won't
big.
get to see them, not because of any other reason. They just won't get to see them.
No, I'm saying yeah. So I'm saying if you're in doing films which are not mainstream films, your
Yeah.
films will never even get shows.
Exactly.
So that's what I was. That's another thing which I have been screaming about.
Yeah.
So OTT has come in as the valve in a pressure cooker.
Yeah.
So at least you have a platform now to reach the audience. And also in praise of the OTT platforms, it's a far more democratic medium by its nature.
Hmm.
Uh, uh, on an OTT platform, when a big film is arriving, you don't have to kick out a small film.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
both can coexist next to each
Coexist.
other.
Yeah,
But that wasn't the case in theatrical. There are
right.
limited number of shows, limited number of theaters. So when a big film comes, your smaller films are just picked up
Absolutely.
and chucked out.
Yeah.
Um, so yes, OTT is liberating, and it is a boon, and I'm a huge fan of
Yeah.
OTT. I think it's doing a lot of great things for the ecosystem, or the film, the cinematic ecosystem of this country.
Yeah.
It's not only giving a platform to artists, technicians, who otherwise were not getting through to their audience on the traditional theatrical system, but it's also improving the taste of the audience, because they're being exposed to so much more.
Right.
They're being exposed to international stuff. Even within India, they are being exposed to so many different kind of stories, genres, so many different actors, so many filmmakers. So any way you look at it, OTT is, thank you God.
Truly. Do you think it will change things forever in terms of the big stars? Because, the big stars are still holding out. They're still holding out for the big theatrical releases. So, is the Friday still going to be the measure of an actor's success, or is it going to be, how his streaming series did, how he was accepted? What will the new measure of success be, Ranveer?
Let's rewind you back a bit. You remember the time we had only theaters, whatever few theaters, and films were a big deal because that's where you went for entertainment. Then television arrived, and then everybody said, "Oh, now we have a screen at home. Nobody's going to go to the theaters again." And then I can't hear you, Kavil.
Right, right.
Uh, so and then, but still theaters thrived. Cinema thrived. Then that one channel became 100 channels, and everybody said this is definitely the nail in the coffin of cinemas. But then the multiplexes happened, and it still thrived. And now with OTT, there's 10,000 choices at home, but I still think theaters will thrive. The only thing that's happening here is the business of cinema is growing exponentially, is growing far more than anyone ever imagined it would, but it is growing. And I don't see a future where any medium, whether it's television or theatrical, is in danger. I think once, God willing, everything is back, into to what it was pre-COVID. I think we'll again see cinemas thriving. I think we'll see bigger films. I think we'll see, bigger box office collections, and we'll see OTT subscriptions as well.
So you see a much more peaceful coexistence.
I see only coexistence.
Co-
I do not see any conflict at all.
Ranveer, let's talk about the movies that you've made with an exceptional group of people. Rajat Kapoor, Vinay Pathak. This is quite an exceptional group of people who do some amazing out of the box films like Mithya and Karak. Talk about working with them. You've worked with them in theater, you've worked with them on screen. What is it like?
Oh, they're just fabulous. They're godsends in my life. They are the wind beneath my wings, because they obviously, first, they are my friends. Uh, we might have our relationships might have started on a professional note, with Vinay, of course, at Channel V, and then later Rajat with theater. But since then, they have been friends who've been steadfast through my ups and downs, and believe me, I've seen some ups and downs. They've been my friends through low periods of my life, and they've shared high moments of my life. And more than anything, what I admire about this bunch is the creative integrity that they have. These are these are people who will not compromise for a buck. These are not these are people who stand for certain sensibilities, certain values, uh, and certain universal values, not just cinematically speaking. I really cherish my relationship with both of them, and three of them actually, including Atul Kumar, who was my who does only theater. I mean, he does film as well occasionally, but his mainstay is theater. And so for me, these guys are really an inspiration and a joy to work with.
And you've done your, I think, some of your best work with them. Mithya, for instance, or even Karak. What is the dynamic like? Because it all seems like one big party. Everyone seems to be so happy to work with each other. Is there a lot of improvisation? Is there a lot of sort of writing as you go? How does it happen?
Well, it is like a party, except you are hosting and enjoying. So imagine a party where you're also cleaning, cooking, and uh, and enjoying the company of friends and chit chatting. So it's something like that. It's hard work because primarily because we work with such low budgets, and but it's like I said. I mean, first let's start with Rajat, who I like to think is the spine of this outfit
Absolutely.
because he's the one who kind of inspires and brings everyone together as a team, and has the vision. So I have learned a lot from Rajat Kapoor. As a student of cinema, I have learned a lot from Rajat Kapoor. I was not fortunate enough to go to FTII, but I think through Rajat, I've had my I've had my fair share
Training,
of
film
yeah,
training. Yeah.
film training, good fair share of film training from Rajat. He's a master director. There's
Right.
no doubt about that, and I feel so flattered that I have he has had the faith in me to put me in so many of his films and such good parts. And I don't think anybody has shown as much faith in me as Rajat Kapoor has, and I'll never forget that. And I'm so grateful for that.
And Vinay, of course, has been your partner in crime.
Vinay has been my yeah, has he's I mean he's been my partner in crime in I think every medium. We've done every conceivable medium. We've done theater together, we've done TV together, we've done music television together, we've done ad films together, we've done films together. I think the only thing actually we've also done series together, albeit in small parts. Well,
Which
we were together in Mira's last
exactly. I wanted
suitable
to
work.
I wanted to talk about that. How was that experience? Because Varis is one hell of a slimy guy,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So how was it to play it, and what is it like being directed by Meera? Fantastic
Oh,
force
Mira
of
is,
nature, no?
yeah,
She's
she
a
is, she
force
is,
of
she
nature.
is. No doubt, no doubt,
Yeah,
no doubt about that. Yes, she is something. I
yeah.
am completely in awe. I mean, I feel. I hope nobody, this is not taken in the wrong way, but I feel naked in front of her when I'm working with her because she just sees through you.
These two, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and that's a very rare ability. I worked with a number of directors, but this quality, this level of vulnerability, I've not felt. I think with other directors, and although Varis was a small part, I was eager to do it only because of Meera, because I would do anything to work with her.
Absolutely.
She's an amazingly intuitive director. Uh, yeah.
And you're also in Mumbaikar with Santosh Sivan. Talk a
Yes,
bit about that because isn't he another sort of genius?
yes, he is. He's absolute genius. After I was confirmed for the film, he sent me a very sweet text saying, that he's seen my work and he really likes it. And I was like, oh man, I worship your work. Please, I'm dying to start. Yes, I'm going to be starting Mumbaikar in Feb, in a week from now.
Oh,
I
it
mean,
hasn't started as yet.
no, I haven't started. They've started shooting. I haven't started.
Okay.
So I'm in prep for that. As you can, like, I'm trying to slowly get to the look that I have in the film, and I'm very excited about it because it's a fabulous bunch of people coming together again. There's Vijay Sethupathi,
Right.
who I've seen Super Deluxe, and I know what he's capable of. So Vikrant Massey, who I've worked with earlier, Sanjay Mishra, who's fabulous, I've worked with earlier, Sachin Kedekar, who's again such a talent, and I worked with him earlier. So I'm really looking forward
And
to
Tanya Maniktala from Suitable Boy.
Tanya. Yeah. Oh, she's on it. She's on it. Is it? Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Okay.
What was it like? When you got the call for Santosh's film, because he does such rare films, no, so rarely that
Yeah.
it's really a privilege.
Yeah, I was very excited. Um, Again, I was excited for two reasons. One, because of course it's Santosh Sivan who's directing, and second, it's a good part. It's a part which I haven't played before, and this is something which is one of the primary things I look out for in a project. Which I never want to repeat a part in my life. I never want to play the same person or a similar person in anything I do. So that when I die and in my obituary, when they run that reel, with all my parts, nothing two no two things should look the same. Uh, this is of course hoping that they'll play something on my obituary. This is hoping I'll have an obituary.
Okay, they will, of course, they will. You talked about your lows and your highs as well. You've been quite open about your fighting your demons. Um, you want to talk a bit about that?
Name the demon and I'll talk about it.
You've been depressed. You've fought a lot of your own personal issues. How did you overcome those?
I think primarily you owe it to yourself and your family and friends to take care of yourself. I think anybody who's even a little, reasonably responsible human being should have that feeling, and that should be the, I think, spring fountain of your sense of survival. That I owe it to my parents, and I owe it to my family, and I owe it to my friends to take care of myself, to to survive, to thrive, and I think we should to sustain ourselves through this. I think we should keep our what gives us happiness. We should keep those small. Um, like I remember what I used to feel really sad about not being I used to feel sad about not being accepted as much as many other actors are in the mainstream, and I used to feel sidelined by awards. And but I remember what kept me going was, every now and then on social media, somebody sending me a very specific message that they saw me in something like this, and and they love me in it, and they wish to see more of me. Or somebody meets you on the street, shakes your hand, at a restaurant, and says how much they loved you in something, and they tell you what they loved you in and what they loved about it, and how they would love to see you in more something more. And so for me it was these. I'm saying if we keep our needs for happiness small and not grand, I think we owe it to ourselves to uh, to want to survive, want to thrive.
You were also quite vocal about Sushant Singh Rajput, and you
Yeah.
worked with him in
I mean,
Soncheria.
everything I've just said can be taken in
Can be
context with
taken
that.
exactly. It actually works just as much
Yeah.
for him as well, right? How was your experience in Soncheria
Oh,
working
fabulous.
with Sushant? Such
Fabulous.
a
Of course.
such a difficult film, though.
Yeah, of course. But now, I mean, I don't think I can think of Soncheria the same way as I did. Now this is, it's tainted by this. The memories are tainted by this tragedy. But it's still a film that I'm very proud of. It's a film I am.
Should be. It's an amazing film.
But of course, now whenever you think about it, there's a
Sort of a Paul and
heavy,
Bloom kind of thing.
yeah, there's a heaviness to it,
Yeah, yeah.
but which was not there. I mean, even after the film had not done well at the box office, even then there was still a lot of joy and a lot of pride and associated with being part of that film. But after Sushant's thing, it has become dark. I mean,
So, Ranveer, what are the monopolies that we need to break down in the industry? We know about the producers, but there are all sorts of other monopolies as well. No, your casting agents, then your big stars. I mean, they need to be a little more generous, don't they?
But none of them are as as none of them cast as wide a net as
The
the
producers.
producer monopolies. It's like saying there are many problems in this country. There's corruption, there's communalism, there's blah blah blah. But the biggest one is that this is a feudal country. That if you can somehow, if there's one thing I could break in this country, politically speaking, I would break feudalism.
Hmm.
I think that will take care of a lot of other stuff: corruption, communalism, blah 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 blah. Patriarchy and whatever else you want, whatever problems people think there are in this country. The same way, I feel that if producers monopolies and distribution monopolies are broken, I think a lot of problems that we face uh, will get automatically start getting resolved. And then, like I said, you keep that pressure going for a while, and things will change.
Hmm. So, when you look around you now, post COVID, well, not post COVID, we're still very much in the middle of COVID. Personally, has it been a period where you've become happier with yourself, or has it been a period where it was tough?
You're talking about the lockdown.
Yes.
COVID lockdown was not too hard on me, thankfully.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I had worse shit going on before that. So, so
You've
this
seen
was
worse.
yeah. So this was more like staying at home. I mean, fortunately, I had enough money to last me 6 months.
Yeah,
That
that's
which is
important, isn't
which
it?
is isn't it? Yeah. I mean
Yeah.
that biggest thing is that, I think. So that was one. But other than that, I mean, first few months were very good of lockdown. I had really had a good time. I was spending time with my kid. I was doing everything I wanted. It felt like a long vacation, at home vacation. But then after 3 months, it started getting to me. Then you want to get out, you want to do things, you start questioning what you're doing with your life, where life is going, and you just want to get out and do things. So then it became the second half was, slow.
Veer, I want to ask you one of the last questions. You've played such different kinds of men, and
No woman yet, though.
it's okay. I'm sure you'll come to that. But say Death in the Gunj, for instance, where you were directed by Konkona, of course. That kind of man, that toxic, typical man. How was it playing that really poisonous variety of man where I think you're not exactly like him. You seem pretty sorted now, at least. I don't know what, but how is it to play that sort of individual and get under the skin of someone like that?
Vikram is not a stranger to me. I've seen such people up close in my life,
Right.
in within my family and friend circle.
Yeah.
Uh, so it was not a stranger to me. Also because I was married to the director and the writer director. I was privy to this story evolving right from it being a short story to a feature film. So I was privy to the development of the character
Yeah.
as it happened. Uh, and playing a part is playing a part is a strange experience. I mean, uh, it's like tasting somebody's life, you
Hmm.
know
Hmm.
uh, not exactly being it, but getting a good sense of what it is to breathe like that. uh, and uh, and not just, I mean, not just Vikram, any part, any part, it leaves behind something with you.
Right.
Much like how I guess as an actor you give something to a part, the part also kind of gives you a return gift, something about life. It can be anything. It can be kinder, maybe. I think that's what Vikram's would be.
What is the best return gift a part has given you?
Many things, yeah, Kaveri. I mean, and I'm talking about at a very philosophical and existential level. Uh, they say once you've given enough years to your work really starts giving back to you. I think I've reached that age now
Right.
where I think my work gives back to me a lot more than I give it
Hmm.
in terms of learning.
Hmm.
Uh, so any one part for me to say, the best thing that's is given me, I don't know. I mean, definitely one of Rajat's films because
Hmm.
his films definitely delve into existentialism like I think no other filmmaker I worked with.
Exactly.
You
Yeah.
know, so definitely one of Rajat's films. I mean, I wasn't in it, but Aankho Dekhi
Oh, yes.
is a beautiful film,
Right.
and so I don't think I can come up with one,
Right.
but definitely I think it would be one of Rajat's films for sure,
Hmm.
where I have walked away with a lot.
Yeah. I think even Karak, where it's such a complex group of people and so much going on, and you're in the center of it, and you're like, you're a victim, you're the perpetrator, you don't know.
Kadak is a blur. If you ask now, if you talk about what an actor goes away from a part, Kadak would be a blur
Right.
because
But
I was dealing with so many things
right.
as a character, and there were parts on it which I begged Rajat to please omit this scene because there is too much happening here. How is this guy going to be able to play cards, have his girlfriend sitting next to him, and have a ghost looking at him? How am I supposed to play this in one moment?
And with the on the surface where this
Yeah,
person is, yeah, without giving too much away.
yeah, and you're playing cards also.
Yeah.
So there's the card game. There's the
The woman sitting
the
next to you.
woman sitting next to me.
There's the
The,
wife in the background.
yeah. So I mean, there are parts for that particular scene. I begged him to omit it, but he wouldn't. And
I can see why, because that really is the crux of the movie.
I think that's one of the reasons. That's where he snaps the first time,
Yeah.
and yeah, because that's where he snaps the first time,
Yeah.
and then later on, of course, cracks open like a coconut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, such wonderful parts, really, that I don't want to repeat what others have said that they want to see more of you. Of course, we want to see more of you. But maybe you also need to lighten up a bit. Don't be so serious.
You
But
think I'm serious?
of course, you are a very
Oh, yeah.
serious individual. But also, I think the monopoly that we're talking about, I don't think it's going to last very long. Somehow, I feel that there will be some cracking open of that as well. Do you see that? I sense that it, this kind of stranglehold on the industry cannot last anymore.
Well, I hope not,
Hmm.
but I'm not very optimistic.
Really?
I see more of the same.
Hmm.
Just because I mean, what makes you think things will change? You think OTT will change things? You
Yes,
think
I feel that audiences actually will demand things. It's nothing
it's not about audience now.
really.
It's about who controls the supply of the spice. If you remember, if you
Yeah.
remember Dune, it's about
Yes.
who controls the spice.
Spice.
Yeah. So who controls the spice?
You think it'll still be like that?
I think so, more or less.
Are
It
we
might be a
still?
little less.
Yeah. Are we still going to wait for the next star son, the next star daughter, still consume their movies like mad?
I'm afraid so.
We should have asked your dad to make a film for you. Then at least we could have.
He did make one for my brother, and it was terrible. Why do you
Oh,
think I never
really?
why do you think I never worked with him?
What was it called?
It was called Mahayudh.
Oh, okay. It had
Yeah.
your brother in it.
And my oldest brother acted in it, and
And he
that's the
never
only.
acted after that.
No, he didn't. No, my father made sure one film was enough to bury his acting career.
Great. Thank you so much, Ranveer, and
Thank you,
really hope to see much more of you. I have to
Thank you.
repeat that cliche,
Thank
and
you.
doing as much or even a greater variety of roles.
I
I
hope
think
so. That's something which I've always aspired for. it's taken me almost 20 years for people to start realizing the kind of career I want to have. When you're trying to be a hero
Hmm.
or
Yeah.
a star,
Yeah.
it's akin to drawing a portrait.
Right.
You'll draw the eyes, nose immediately. You'll get immediate recognition, immediate acknowledgement. But when you want your career to be more of a landscape, then it takes time, because you're drawing a bird here, you're drawing a little lake here, a
Yeah.
mountain here, and by the time it starts coming together, it's much longer. So I'm just glad that 20 years later, at least people are realizing what kind of a career I want to have.
Right. And it'll last you another 20, 30 years. That is the
I hope
beauty
so.
of this kind of career, that
I
it's
hope
not.
I last 20, 30 years. Not the career. I'm not worried about the career. I hope I last first.
Yeah, actually, you're quite funny. So thank you very much, Ranveer
Thank
Shori,
you,
for
Kaveri.
talking to me, talking to Tiffin Talks, for taking the time out, and all the very best for the future as well.
Thank you, Kaveri. Lovely chatting with you. Have a
Thank
great
you.
day.
Thank you.
Bye.